This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good evening, friends. Hope my voice is loud and clear.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
So we're starting new week tomorrow, and we have good news that on G20 summit in Japan, US and China has agreed on truce and no more further levying taxes against each other. So that's a good news that at least there is some stoppage. And as per international markets are concerned, I guess Dow Jones is has made this HNS pattern, this inverted HNS pattern, and it is hit. Last week was a consolidation post run up. So you have 3 weeks since good move from 24,800 went up to 26,900. Then it cooled down and almost touched the first average, which was 9-day moving average, and it is somewhat consolidated. So I personally feel that the first hour in the morning, wherein international market opens, Dow Jones future opens around 6:30, and the Singapore. So it's going to be first uptick, and the opening should be well near this 26,800, and Dow Jones may head towards a new high. So the previous high which was made was 26,952, and I think this will break and it will sustain somewhere around 27,100 sorts, 2780, 27. So the first tick I would certainly buy if I am sustaining on Indian market above 816. Okay, so the first half is more or less on the news of this truce between US and China, and we will watch if market opens and sustains and moves high. Okay, as far as Indian Nifty chart is concerned, it has formed a kind of evening star formation which is taken negative. And what we want is that it should sustain above this 823, 11,823 mark, which is mid 50% of the previous candle. And that's where we know if it sustains on hourly basis and reverses and breaks above 1865, then it turns totally bullish. But if it touches that 827 marks and struggles to cross again on hourly basis and not closing, then there is a problem. And everything anything which goes below 11,778 or say 1167 kind of 11,760, it will put pressure and push the move back into the channel, and which will make make chance of filling the gap at the bottom. But till the time it is sustaining the channel, which is 11,700, we still have a kind of a support wherein we have chance of moving up, and the 50% of the previous morning star is a good point. So I think 760 is a good base, and below 760 I think all the long positions which we are holding, if it is closing below 11,760, all the positions which are holding long on leverage should cut down, and we should watch if if it is struggling to hold this 760 mark, then we'll see all those mid caps which has given a good move in the last week, looking at this union budget. So we'll see if they're sustaining. If they're not sustaining, we'll exit our positions. Okay, so I'll just make you repeat. I'll just repeat the important points. So tomorrow's opening should sustain above 11,826, 825. If it is sustaining and closing above hourly basis, it's a good news, and there are fair chances of hitting the previous high. The momentum will kick in only above 11,926, which I've spoken before. Okay, so the last peak was just the resistance. If you can see this trend, this resistance point, which is at 11,914, it has just touched and dipped and formed this kind of spinning top. So first point is to sustain above, as I said, 11,826. Then I need this to, on hourly basis, this should close tomorrow above say 900, the previous high 925.26. The moment it closes above, we are in a good short covering move, which may take us immediate to near to 12,010 or 25 zones. Okay, so it's a clear cut. Okay, but if I take this, if tomorrow if things are not sustaining, Okay, and if it is closing below 11,760, we will cut down on leverage position, and we need to review the market again, because it's a kind of topping pattern. You can see this sharp arc kind of situation, then went up. If I just make it easy for you, if I just measure the price range here, and this is the base, so which is around 488 points, and if I just take 50%, which is around 11,870, this is what the resistance is. So technically, if I say that, it has made an arc, and it's a kind of kind of bounce, retracement, and then it may fall back again. So this is another channel. So a journey for a negative sentiment is only, say, below 11,760, and if it is closing below 11,760, don't take any positions for Tuesday or Wednesday. We will wait for event, because there's a lot of expectation from the government this time, and what kind of money is passed from RBI to government, and how government takes the initiative, whether they're putting directly into the market, increasing their own expenditure, or they will pass on money to banks, and then the liquidity is forwarded. So it's all about money being filtered into the market, and how much. So concerns are bigger, wider. We all know there are liquidity issues, and even we have got a result season now, starting from I guess TCS on 9th. So I don't expect much from the first quarter. There is technically a slowdown, and people are really struggling for capital, okay, working capital, and even the limits for the companies are being cut by the banks on a caution note. So probably, if the first quarter is not performing well, there are fair chances that we may not copy international market, and we may lose down. And as such, there is no need. I mean, the election is already gone. There is emotional thing, but the real, I think, for me, is union budget, how money is filtered into the market, and how people react on odd situations. For me, it's an odd situation only, because I need money into the markets. I need money in the companies, how they perform. So let's wait for that good time on 5th. So as of now, for me, it's all about technicals I should follow. Okay, I'm not, because at this point in situation, we may not measure how much time the market will take to consolidate, and move up and giving good results. But yes, as of now, situation is a bit brief. So all right, okay. So I think points are there in mind below 760. We are not taking long position. If it is moving down, we'll exit. But if tomorrow, I think the opening is going to be good, Dow Jones should be holding above that 26,800 mark. So if it is holding above, SCX should be trading like 50, 60 points up, and which is healthy. And on hourly basis, if the momentum continues and we sustain above, say, 11,865, 870, I think things have got to go. And then we may see a chance of moving higher. And I think event is what everyone will be looking forward to, and still there is time. So till that time, I think market should consolidate, and I don't see much of buying. FIs are still selling out their shares in net, and DIs are holding on to window, and there's lesser volume when I speak that when we're trading at somewhere around 12,000. So it's only news that can take this market up. So one is truce between China and US, and second is till budget. So let's see how markets reacts tomorrow, first half. So first half it is holding, then we'll take the long position. Otherwise, you just, I think the trading moves is going to be cyclic, and I'm not in a hurry to punch any trade at this point in time. But yes, a bit of scalp on good supporting PSUs, because market expects some liquidity into the PSUs, and we have seen some good run up in State Bank of India, moving from 336 to new high of 363. Canara Bank remains a favorite, standing at 280, 81. It's a good support. You buy it and sell it back to 87, 88, 390, 291 is a good resistance point. and if government pours in some liquidity into PSU, this has strength to move up to 317, and State Bank can even move up to 390. So higher highs and a bit of participation from private sector banks too. They're supporting. We have seen HDFC Bank hitting a new high of 24.93.94. ICICI Bank coming back from 415.16 level to 440. So Axis Bank even. So all those private banks are even supporting the screen. So private PSU's combination is working out. Bit of support from pharmaceuticals, but yet not so much of volumes there. And I think IT is going to be a bit range bound. Maybe Infosys or TCS participate because they have results before, so they can kind of give you a fresh run up. So at this point, we have a good resistance standing at 870, and the bull, or we may say the short covering, may continue above 11,926 mark, and it has strength. Once we cross that 12,100, it has strength to carry to 12,375, a previous calculated target. So I need volumes at this point. So volumes can only come either by short covering or good news being supported by, given by market, either international or we have a major event on 5th. So we are eyeing that. So I think for Nifty, just stay with the points which I have shared, and this can only make you survive. And uh, as I said, bank, I'll just share the bank Nifty move. So yeah, so okay, so I have this long-term trend line red, if you can see the upper line, and this is a serious struggle to cross over, and it's a kind of similar pattern. You can see that it's a kind of arc, and then it has almost crossed that 50% above, could not sustain, copying the Nifty. And even tomorrow, it's a kind of rounding bottom and a mid cup and handle formation. So the best point is to buy near 31,000, so which is there, 31,105. But I don't think that it is easy to cross even that 31,279 or 270 mark. So it is a real hurdle, and you can see that at this point, even banks are not so cheap to buy. So PSUs is something which you can bet for long term. But yes, when we talk about PSUs, it's only SBI which gives us a good buying value. Even SBI standing at 360, we have a little bit room on upside. Uh, so a bank Nifty will kind of underperform at this point. Only if government gives some money to PSU banks, then we have a fair chance to cross this red resistance line, which is 31,570 sorts. Okay, so if it moves above, then we expect some short covering. Okay, but on a maximum, I think this is going to be a bit stressed. Crossing that previous high for banks is difficult, but if it crosses, it is not going to sustain for long. So I think for banks, it's only buy on dips and sell at resistance point till the time it breaks that 30,200 mark again, and largely focus on. I think if you want to play, you focus on SBI and HDFC Bank is good. If it falls down to 24, say 38 odd levels, it's a good point. And I think 25, 15, 20, and 25, 30 is a fair mark wherein it has a very strong resistance. And if you get that move within next week, I think if you want to play that event, let the market consolidate, and it's better to play on weekly expiry. Um, Probably if it is falling near to expiry, so you can play that, and it's only buy on dips, I consider. So for me, bank Nifty at this point is a stop loss kind of trade. I will buy and sell, more of a scalp. I would not like to hold position till government gives some money to PSU banks.
Bajaj
Yeah, so I'll
Finance.
just a second. I'll just share. my views on HDFC. I like HDFC Bank and Canara Bank so that you make some money. So this is what which is helping me out to if you can see that this HDFC Bank is consolidated for so many days and it's sustaining above this channel. We got a first move there and then a bit of correction heading on a kind of second average which is 2441 and it has made a low of 38 a kind of support daily support. So tomorrow if you get that near somewhere around say on a dip around 33, 34, it's a good buy. And this will catch momentum the moment it is again back above, say, 2460 mark. Okay. And it has some move on upside. Okay. So my target is around 25, 30, 25, 15 sorts. So I think this is one which has strength at the bottom and which will help Nifty to move. You can see the averages are cooled on and then moving forward. Okay, so it's a good rounding bottom, a cup and handle situation. Breaking above will give you some good 70 points. Okay, then Canara Bank, DLF, these all looks good. Okay, the first volume you can see on a daily basis at 291, corrected back, a rounding bottom. It requires consolidation, and I want this kind of consolidation, a little bit out on upside, a rounding bottom and a handle kind of consolidation, and then breaking out. So probably if it breaks out this time, it's going to hit the channel high. So the channel high is around 312 or 317. So it is just waiting for the news. Till that time, I think this will consolidate between the channel. A lot of scalping points you will get that 2 3 rupees, 2 3 rupees. It's a good happy go situation. For tomorrow, I think 281, the first dip is a buy. Then you sell at resistance of 284.85. Let it cool down, come back to 77. Then you sell at 281. So it will make that situation for next 3 4 days, and it's a good move if you get every day 3 4 rupees, and then you take a chance on call option. You can buy that 310 call option. You can sell somewhat 330 call option to pair something, and then I think if it moves for 310 12, you will make very good money. So we'll do scalp and all those accounts we are holding in FNO, all those which have that margins. So Deepa will be doing that. I'll be giving her the points, and it's a good safer bet to trade on. So I like Canara Bank as I discussed. I like DLF too. It has given a good move, and promoters have pumped in fresh 2,250 crores. That too for the warrants which they have issued last year, and this is a partial payment pending that they've given that. And the stock has moved out of long consolidation. You can see that it's a kind of HNS there and fallen below neckline, struggled and then moved back, then supported the channel and then again moved back. On weekly, it's a good bet. How you can see that it has formed a so it's formed the morning star pattern, and I'll take that positional trade there if I get that 184. So Deepa, you buy that 184, and we want to sustain. We've got a very minor stop loss of 178. But if this trend continues and there is some pump in from the government, this will surely heading. This is surely heading towards this channel high. The channel high is around 210.11. So we'll kind of get the first move. We hit the kind of 198. We'll try to sell the calls of 190 to get the premium. We'll start saving a bit. We'll start booking partial profit, and then our ultimate target is 210, which will exit, and then let it consolidate. I don't know what will happen, but yes, for a weekly kind of situation, things are good, handled, and I think buying at 184 just stop loss of 178, 177, it's a good bet, and this is a good play. Okay, so I've given you 2 3 stocks. Now you can start. If you have some queries, I'll help you out.
Grain industry.
You want a long-term trade or short-term trade or just for tomorrow?
Short-term trade.
So you buy that 99.10 and just a small stop loss of say 97.85. And though the stock is weak and less of volumes, I don't think that this is going to sustain. And every peak on average is being sold, looking at the trend of the stock. And I think there is less of participation on a long side. And the previous buying which has happened was just a technical breakout, and it is not followed by volumes. That shows that this move is not going to sustain. How? I'll just show you. So this was the move previously being that was a technical breakout, and you can see the volumes. And the second candle is just a selling candle. You can see, and perhaps I was expecting a kind of another green candle being followed for a run up. The stock looks very weak, but again, it's going to looking at the chart structure. It's a good. Consolidation point or a kickback you can get. So 99.10, 99.25 is a good buy. Take a stop loss of 97.85 and expect the stock to consolidate. And if you're lucky enough, it consolidates and moves back above 103 mark. Hold the stock, and I think 107, 107 is 106 and 7 is your target. But I won't recommend this to take into your portfolio.
Bajaj
Puneet,
Finance.
good evening on
Bajaj Finance.
HFL.
Yeah, so perfect wedge pattern breakout, and I think this has just reached that resistance level. Yeah, so I think a little bit of room at this point. Yeah. Okay, so if you're holding on to position, the max if it is gonna hit is 37.83. Okay, just try to exit your position. Let the stock cool down in future, and then get into the trade. And even this can happen. If you sell that 387, it will again cool down to 37.40, 37.30, and it will wish to break previous high. Okay, so possibly yes, that it get into the channel, and it will hit and peak around 38.28. So once it is above 38.28, okay, and gives us a closing above say 38.60, right? Then we may buy back this again for a sharp move, which can even hit 4080. But standing at this current situation, I think it's a very strong resistance. You sell that at 37.85, and if it moves back and sells down below this triangular channel, then I think it's a good exit. Let it cool down, and if you want to rebuy, I think 31.67, 32 is for position. You can see the volumes are less, and it has really curtailed down. So I won't recommend this above that point. Wait for good corrective levels, and then you may re-enter. Next,
Puneet,
please. Motherson.
ICICI Bank.
Yeah, yeah, coming. Okay, so you can see that this is a long-term chart, and Motherson Sumi is selling down. We have a sell channel there. Okay, so it is into mid channel, and it's all about how market supports at this point. Okay, so for me, the stock has now come down to a bear move, and it is struggling to hold that 115 mark. The moment it moves to 127, there is selling, and it comes down to 113, 14 odd points. Okay, and this is the point wherein if it breaks this time. Okay, this is going to be the last one. If it breaks the previous low, it may actually correct well below 100. Okay, so for me, it's a weak stock and a lot of volumes at this level to support and kick back into the triangle back. So once it is back above say 130, 31, it will come back on a controlling level. But at this point, if the first quarter results are bad, the previous quarter was bad. If the first quarter results are bad, this has fair chance of a correction below that 100 mark. But yes, as of now, it is being just holding, and you can see this morning star pattern is just being supported, and 116 it has just moved back to 122 odd levels. For tomorrow, if you want to get into the trade, the first move is the buy move. Okay, so I think if you get that say around 119.10, you can buy and put a stop loss of 116, and the stock will be a bit slow, but yes, if somebody wants to play on options, the moment it is above that 127 mark, this time this is going to be a good short covering move, which will hit back to 132.50 or maybe a bit higher, 133.50. Okay, so 130 call option can be played. Okay, positional it's a sell, short term it's a buy. So but the stop loss, it's very strict. So 116 is a good stop loss for you short term, and position stop loss is 113, 114.
Ashok Raibul fight. Raibul housing.
Yeah, so I think stock has really controlled its downside move, and it has already done that corrective move, which I was expecting till it should, it would have touched that 430 or 430, 35 mark. But, somewhat it's well being controlled below 500. So it made a low of 488. And you can see a sharp reversal from there. And a lot of volumes are there participated at these lower levels. And I think it's a very simple trade. And what you have to do is just apply retracement from the top to low, and I think any dip 586 off, it's a good point to re-enter. Even that 568 mark, your stop loss is strict 550, and a fair chance of hitting back to the blue average, which is that 655. Okay, so I just tried back, to hit that 645 mark, and then it's sold down. So I think it's a good bet only that if it corrects, and the best bet is 568, 570. You get into the trade, have a strict stop loss of 549 at the bottom, and let's see how trade pans out. But fair chances of hitting back to 650, 55 odd levels.
Sir, Ashok Leyland.
Moltec packing. Moltec packing.
First Ashok and then Moltec. Yeah, so this stock is currently range bound, which I can make out from the chart, and I think it's struggling. But looking at current move again, I think it is only on the news front. If government pumps in good money into the banks, auto sector may actually perform. Okay, so that's a dearth of liquidity into the system. But if you still want to have a trade in this stock, I think 87.20 or yeah, 87, near about 87.10 you buy and have a strict stop loss at the bottom, which is around 85. Okay, so have 84.90 probably, and your target is just a channel high. So if it is hitting that 90 and 90.5 or 91, I think you just exit, and this can happen in fact just before this union budget. So it's a bit of again kind of 5% return. So try buying it at the lows of say 86.90 or what 86.50 or 87, and then wait for the trade. Have a strict stop loss. Stock is currently in a channel and a range bound kind of situation. So for me, it's not a buy as a positional bet. I look for, but yes, that 3-4%, 5% on higher side, not an attractive spread. Yes, next one,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Moltec packing.
Moltec.
Nit, recently there was a lot of sharing has happened in WhatsApp about this Moltec packing as a Crorepati stock AC. So is it really worth making part of a portfolio? And in that case, what is the entry and what should be the time horizon we should have it? And what is the maximum percentage in our portfolio we can give to this? In case if it is really worth buying as a portfolio stock. But every day it is moving upper and upper.
So it has hit the channel high and then could not sustain on 380 odd levels. So probably from last 1, 2, 3, 4. So okay, so from 240 it went up to 280. That was a very sharp move, and you can see that the first move gap of opening is being sold at large red volumes. Okay, so it can be a kind of advertisement move wherein it got opened up and then distribution and 2 days of consolidation, maybe lesser volumes, and then followed by to uptick. But again, it is not sustaining. So I feel that 280 mark is a good resistance point, and stock has corrected from say levels high of say 370. You are getting at 270. Okay, so technically speaking, it is at resistance point. But in future, if it corrects and you get a entry, mid caps are you need to really check on balance sheets how their working cycle is and how much debt these companies are holding and what are the results. It's actually following them every 3 months nowadays. So these plays are all positional. You cannot play them technically. It's all about news flashing and people getting and jumping in.
Yeah, because a lot of sharing has happened in WhatsApp last few days.
Yeah,
Is
so
it?
that may be the reason.
Yeah, yeah. And is it really a worth of keep in our portfolio for next 10 years.
Puneet, your views on DHFL and Yes Bank, please.
Yeah, come here. Yeah, so I think company is performing good on sales, and Y on Y basis, if you see that we are certainly seeing kind of 10% appreciation in growth, and I think return on capital employed is good, 22%, and the company seems good in terms of profitability, right?
Hmm.
And I think the growth is as well. So it's good that if we can collect back at 220 odd levels, 230, it sounds great. And if market flavors this, I think um, it's given a good correction. I think the momentum may carry back. So I think any dip near to 220 can be bought, and you may have a target of 280 to 85 in your mind. And then I think if market sees strength over a period of 1 year, 2 year, the stock has potential to move up and make this kind of rounding bottom. So I'll show you how. So probably. So this is what is expected. Okay, so let it cool down. Let make the base. And next time if you get a 223, this is going to be a rounding cup move, and then you may plan to exit at 330 or 340, 45. The first resistance is 280, 85. Entry should be around 230, and your target is 285 and 330 on upside.
REC
What
Limited.
is the time period?
REC Limited.
Time
So
period?
I think you have this 12 months, probably 1.5 years.
1.5 years. Okay. And
REC Limited.
rights,
1 year at least.
sometime check rights.
Rights issue, is it coming?
Rights. RATES.
So
Rights.
I personally rights RITS, right?
Yes.
Rights Limited.
Recently, bonus is also issued, and IPO price is 180, and it moved to 300, approximately near 300, and it is consolidating in this range, I believe. But is it really worth stock to hold or buy? Because 1:1 4:1 bonus also recently it issued.
So inverted head and shoulder kind of situation. Okay, so it's actually broke out of this channel and then moved high. So I think if it dips down back to say 250 or probably 250 or 250 level, then only it's a buy, and you need to check on fundamentals how they are doing. Market cap of 5,838, book value 119, return on capital 23, return on equity 16, dividend yield 1.89, face value 10, 20 shares. Yeah, as of now it seems good. Okay, so I don't know how the borrowings is showing zero. We got reserves capital of 200. Yeah, so company is good. Let it come down. Let it cool down to say levels of 250, and I think you should hold on. And it's a buy on dips, and the moment it reverses, it has potential to even cross that previous high. So it's a holding stock, but it is currently it is under consolidation. So best is whenever you get that correction, you buy and hold on to the stock.
Like, how long we can hold it on?
So
REC.
consolidation again, I think not. I think if you get an opportunity to buy 250, you buy and hold it for at least 1 year for at least 20 to 22% return.
Okay. Okay,
REC,
fine.
sir.
Thank you.
DHFL and Yes Bank please.
REC.
DHFL and Yes Bank. The stock is out of the FO, no?
No, sir.
So a lot of selling is still continuing in the script till they find some buyer, and but at this point it has kind of short-term bottom, and you may see that it has made a rounding bottom. And how to play on this is uh, breaking a support of 68.70 for once, and touching that 67 mark. I think 4 hours will help us on the. Yeah, so I think you buy that 65.50 kind of bottom if it makes again, and your stop loss stands out to be 62.90. If it breaks 62.90, then stock is even heading much lower. Probably it can even break down 50 rupees as well. But short term, if market is supporting, there is an event, operator may actually hit once for 66.50 and try to break. Somewhat say that previous high level. So probably if you get a chance to book this script near to 80 or 81, you may exit the script. But positionally, it's a sell down script, and I won't recommend to take that in a portfolio as of now. Short term, if you want to play that, you buy and take a sharp exit if you get an exit around 84, 80, 84, yeah, 84 maximum on upside. So 66.50, 62.90 as stop loss, target of 84 at the top.
Gracias.
Yes Bank as well.
Glenmark.
Yeah, so Yes Bank is ready to break the previous low level, right? So for tomorrow, it's a dip buy. If you want to play that scalp, it is readily available. You will get an opportunity to make a short-term money. Put a buy somewhere around 104 rupees 85 paisa. You buy 105 even, okay? Take a strict stop loss of 101.40 and a target of 118, 117. And this can happen around event only. But you should stick to your stop losses, okay? But breaking that 101, I think this will attract lower levels in Yes Bank, and this may head towards 92 to 87 zone. Okay, next.
Did
REC.
Glenmark.
REC.
Glenmark Pharma.
REC and then Glamour. Okay. Yeah, so move is somewhat peaked out now in REC 165, and it is continuously moving from 132 marks, and it is into the channel move. You can see this. So I think it has a bit of potential to move up to 170. But if we get that mark, just book this script and let it cool down, consolidate between 156 mark and say 165, 166. then only once it consolidate and at between these levels, then only we can have a good levels of 180 to 185 on upside. But yes, for short term, if you're planning, I think uh, you buy this green average, which is around 161. It is a bit overheated. You can see on RSI it is heated, and let it cool down, consolidate, and then try. As of now, it is a sell. Don't participate at this point. If you're buying, you should buy at 161 and sell if you get an opportunity to sell at 170, 71. That's it. It's a peak stock. Avoid at current price. Next,
Sir, after 177, how much
Grasim.
it will get?
Somebody said Grasim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong consolidation, and I think weeks of consolidation, and the stock has potential to move up. So I think this time, if it breaks that 935, the stock is heading towards near to 1000, but it will not cross 1000. So probably 981 to 985 zone, you should book your profit. But still, if you're looking for a buy, I think it's a good buy at 907. Uh, Enter at 907 and a bit of daily consolidation. So probably a day or two or three near to event, it has potential to break out. So it's a buy on dip, and I think you can participate a trade for 980.
ICICI.
Sale.
ICICI Bank.
Yes, sir.
PNC Infra.
So as I said that ICICI Bank at this 440 levels. Okay, I personally don't feel like buying this. This is a bit a kind of cautious mode because the Chanda Gochar issue of Videocon 3200, it seems much of undisclosed. I predict personally that this amount is going to be higher, and why it is not coming onto books, it is it's still for me it's a surprise. But yes, short term it may move above that previous high which it has made, and the stock has capacity to move up to 457 to 461 mark. If you get that, you exit. It is bit overbought at this point. I think if you want to buy this stock, buy on dips only. So this which you will which might you get might around 429 430 zone, and if the event is positive, then only short covering, and short covering can hit 457. You exit. For now, it is not an holding stock, not a delivery stock. It's an avoid for myself.
Puneet, sale.
Sale.
Glenmark and IGL.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of a temporary move from 47 went up to 52, and kind of on 50 So sale is kind of giving a cyclic move, not a stop to play on a trend. I think still it's on dip. So you want to play that 1 rupee or 2 rupee game, buy around 50 rupees 10 paisa, and you sell at 51.50. That's it. Nothing as such on a serious play. And what was the next one?
Glenmark.
NCC.
Glenmark. It is trying to buy a bottom. Both volume support there and if it dips down, because the closing is well below, so if it dips down to 422.10, that's a serious point to collect for a quick scalp, and you may track that in options. Okay, so 414 is going to be a stop loss, and 400 play to trade for 430.5. That's it. But the stock has really broken down, and this move should carry. Uh, and the bottom which this stock can make is only around 380. For me, it's in a void.
NBCC.
Next,
IGL.
NBCC.
ITC,
IGL.
NBCC.
IGA. So IGL now, touching the previous high could not sustain. It requires consolidation, and it has hit that lower range of 309, which is a very good support. And if you get that entry at around 306, stock may, reverse back and has some potential to hit back to 321. But effectively, this should, be in a channel support if you're taking a positional trade. Okay, so I think from 306, your first booking level is that 320.21. Then again, if you get some good news or consolidates between 316.21, then you'll kick back to a previous high. But as of now, it is a bit overbought, and I think it's better to play the channel support and selling the middle channel to book profit. That's it, mid of the channel.
Infosys.
NBCC.
304 to 320 is a consolidation you can play. Next one,
Infosys.
Infosys and ITC is the last.
PNC Infratech.
Goes on. PNC, okay. I'll cover these three last talks. Okay, weekly sound. I think it's a good bet if you want to buy this. If you get this opportunity to buy around 716 and 718 zone, you buy, have a stick stop loss of 705, and 785 is what, before results or during result. This consolidated very well. So if you want to play that chance, I think you buy futures and at the same time, buy put. And I think it's a bet if you get that at 716 and have the target of 787. Good consolidation. PNC Infra.
Sir, NBCC.
Okay, PNC Infra, very sharp move from the bottom of 125, but the stock requires consolidation. The moment it is above this channel, which is 214.15, it will head towards 240. But I think if you want to buy this, any dip which gives you an opportunity to buy around 181, 82, you buy and have 240 as your target and a strict stop loss of 163 at the bottom. NBCC. Yeah, so it is a kind of inverted head and shoulder pattern on NBCC. Very sharp move from the bottom of say 51, 52, made a high of 65, then corrected, and it is on 50% move. So the moment it breaks that high this time above 63, the stock has potential to move 67 and a bit of consolidation and a target of 79 at the top. Next week, it is important that the stock should close above that 63 mark, and if it closes, the probability increases very much, and then you can enter in options as well, 70 or 65, whichever suits you. So I think for tomorrow, if what I need is that it should close somewhere about 60 rupees 40 paisa. So we are closing around 59.60. Okay, so I need the close above, okay, not 60.40, I need to close above 60.70. If it closes 60.70, the stock is back into the mood and a fair chance of hitting high of 67.
The
Anyone
Jet
left who
Airways,
is,
the Jet Airways
PNB.
news of
so yeah, I think you
Hinduja and that
avoid this
news.
here. No, avoid these kind of news. It's only technical play you can have. If you want to still you want to trade in, I think it's a buy. Buy it around buy around 56, 56 around level. Okay, 55, 50, 56 levels, and have a target of around 87 to 88 at the top. And your stop loss is very strict, and keep a stop loss of an average low of 46. 10 rupees stop loss and 30 rupees upside target.
MCX.
PNB.
Okay, it's a buy. Buy PNB around 77.10, 77.50 zone, and I have a strict stop loss of 74.80, and with a target of 82.40. Next,
Tata
MCX.
Motors.
okay, guys, last MCX and Tata Motors. I have to actually go. Uh, yeah, for MCX, it's a buy. 819, 2820 is a good buy, and your stop loss is very tight at 803, and stock has potential to move up to 847 zone. That's it. The stock is in channel. Don't expect a strong breakout, and it is only kind of moving just because the gold has participated well. And if it carries in sustaining about the 850-51 mark, check me again. So a target can be a bit higher to the tune of say, you know, 910 or 905 zones. Tata Motors, the last one. Okay, same 161, 160.45 is a bet to buy. Have a tighter stop loss of 156 and target of around 169 to 171. That's it. So a lot of looking at this mid cap, it seems as if the stock has run up a bit, and a kind of short-term correction which has happened. So if event is good, these stocks have potential to give you that 7-8% on upside. So most of the stocks which we have discussed, the pattern is all same. It is all that all these mid cap got cautious before this event, and if event is not eventful, if it is not a happy go situation, these stocks will fall further. Okay, so just be tighter on your stop loss, whatever you have, or just play in options because you have that limited money to go. And if it works, it works well. It gives you that 7-8% or 10%. That's it. Okay. Thank you for participating, and wish you luck for next week. As I said, first half is going to be hot on upside. If it's sustaining, carry your trade. If it's not sustaining, just exit and wait for opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.